A decade of conflict has left Iraq's military in shambles and its political future anything but certain. But how has the war affected regular Iraqis and their day-to-day lives? Well, Iraqi and foreign journalists are taking part in a major photo exhibition that explores life in the country after Saddam Hussein. I-24 News' Maya Margit takes a look.
Riddled by conflict and torn apart by civil war, a new photo exhibition aims to capture daily life in Iraq. Nearly 150 photographs by 43 artists are on display at the annual Metrography Photo Festival. The exhibition documents life in Iraq following the fall of Saddam Hussein's regime in 2003 and the plight of people displaced by the subsequent fight against the Islamic State group. But the pictures also show a different side to the country.
We wanted to show the pretty side of Iraq. Also, we want to show the true stories that took by Iraqi photographers during the conflicts and last 10 years after Saddam Hussein in 2003.
The festival is taking place across Iraqi Kurdistan, in the provinces of Erbil, Sulaymaniyah, and Kirkuk. Organizers say the goal is to give those outside Iraq a view of how the conflict has affected people across the country.
I think the photos that I see here today are very humanizing of what is going on. It shows pictures and images of persons who have gone through a lot of struggle and a lot of hardship.
To me, they show very different parts of Iraqi Kurdistan, very diverse world and history and society situation, current situation as well. And I think that many people can learn a lot by visiting.
Funerals and celebrations, struggles and traditions. The Metrography Photo Festival presents a kaleidoscopic view of a place where life is anything but straightforward.
And Maya Margit is now joining me in the studio. Maya, thanks for coming in. I would say that the fact that this exhibition even exists speaks well of Iraq's state.
It's pretty good, but I mean, we have to note that this is a part of Iraq that's somewhat more stable than, say, Fallujah or Mosul. But to answer your question, it was organized by Metrography. It's an organization in Iraq that's Iraq's first independent photo agency. Okay. And their goal is to establish a thriving photojournalism industry in the country and to highlight Iraqi culture and history.
Right. Now, it's pretty important, I would guess, to document these times in Iraq, in the region, during wartime and after. What roles is this documentation taking on?
Well, we can't understate the role of photojournalism. It's incredibly important. It empowers people to tell their own stories. And in Iraq specifically, it's important to highlight the fact that this photo agency is working in between the ISIS propaganda machine and the Iraqi government. So they're the only independent news photo agency in the country. And if you want an example of how photojournalism can affect public opinion, we can go to a really famous example, the Vietnam War. Photojournalism during that war really swayed public opinion. And it turned people against the war. And there's a famous photo of the napalm girl, the girl running naked. That photo, you could say it changed the world in a way. So we can't understate the value of it.
Absolutely. Now, it's a dangerous role, the role of photojournalist, especially in a war-torn place such as Iraq, is it not?
Yes, and it's also underpaid. Many times these photojournalists are not insured. They just kind of go and do it because they really want the picture. They want the image. They love what they do. They're willing to take the risk, but many people die. In Syria alone, since for the past 5 years, dozens and dozens of journalists have been killed. In Iraq, what's really dangerous is they are in danger of being kidnapped by IS. As we've seen in the past, many journalists have been executed by the Islamist group.
Yeah. Now, do we know anything about the possibility of seeing this exhibition outside of Iraq? Maybe if I don't feel like, going to see it over there?
They've been holding it for the past 7 years, if I'm not mistaken, since 2009. They haven't really traveled abroad, but people are starting to take note of them. Many major agencies are taking note and covering them.
Maybe in the future we'll get to see it in person. Maya Margit, thanks so much for coming and telling us about it. That is it from us for today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be here tomorrow as well, of course, so be sure to join us for the Daily Beat right here on I-24 News. Bye-bye.